May it please the court.
You may proceed.
Tragedy shall not beget tragedy, Your Honor. Tragedy should not beget tragedy. And the night of February the 8th, 2002 was indeed a very tragic night. On the night of February the 8th, 2002, a 7-year-old boy from our own area was taken from us. A 7-year-old boy wandered into the street under the watchful eyes of his parents and suffered from an epileptic seizure. This sickly child suffered from grand mal seizures, the most severe type of seizures that one can have, which ultimately led to the injuries which ended this young boy's life. That is not where the tragedy ends that evening, Your Honor. On the day of February the 8th, J.J. Thompson, our client, went to work, did an honest day's work for an honest day's pay, and then went out with comrades after work and had one drink and socialized at a bar. J.J. Thompson, in a sober state, drove home after the bar that evening, drove cautiously through Hickory Lane, through Hickory Park, down Hickory Lane, and was pulled over just before arriving home. J.J. Thompson, at that point in time, passed a breathalyzer, but was arrested for an alleged hit and run, which he did not commit. The state, the next day, dropped all charges. That's something that this court has to take into consideration. The state dropped all charges. J.J. Thompson never heard anything again of this case until he was notified by the plaintiff's attorneys that he was being sued. At that time, we took depositions, and J.J. Thompson, of his own will, stipulated to the plaintiff that he drove down Hickory Lane that evening. J.J. Thompson was never questioned about that evening by the police. J.J. Thompson could have said anything about that evening. J.J. Thompson could have said he took a multitude of ways home that evening. J.J. Thompson didn't. J.J. Thompson told the truth, because J.J. Thompson doesn't have anything to hide. Your Honor, today we will call our case in chief and present it to the court. And in so doing, we will call 3 witnesses. One, Dr. Brown, who will offer expert testimony as to the autopsy and medical condition of the deceased Derek Smith. Second, we the defense will be calling Carter Palmer, a loving individual who knew the deceased child and a trusted neighbor of the plaintiffs, Lee and Andy Smith. Carter Palmer would like nothing more than to comfort her neighbors and back up the testimony that they give. Carter Palmer was the closest eyewitness and the most detailed eyewitness of anybody who was at this accident scene. However, Carter Palmer will tell you something that differs from the testimonies of the deceased's parents. Your Honor, today, myself, Kenneth Bauer, and co-counselors Jake Pietkovich and Mike Worrell are very proud to represent our client, J.J. Thompson. At the end of the day, you must ask yourself 2 things. Was J.J. Thompson the most likely individual to have been at the scene, to have been the one who committed this heinous act? If that's the case, as we will show, that is not the case, and you should find a verdict of not liable. 2, were there other significant factors that occurred that evening that can break the chain of causal relation to our clients or anybody, any other citizen of Midland's liability? If that's the case, then you must find our client not liable. If that's the case, not only must you find our client not liable, but you must find anybody not liable and bar the plaintiffs from bringing this suit again against our client or anybody else. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.